We have some information on a canceled Batman spin-off video game, and the voice actor for it is speaking out. But before we begin, hi, my name is Jacob Airy. Welcome to Studio Jake. This is my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. What am I talking about? So, Rocksteady and Warner Brothers Montreal, which is two video game developers, they worked really hard on the Batman trilogy or the Batman Arkham trilogy, and everyone loves those games. There's Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, and of course, Batman Arkham Knight, and a prequel game called Batman Arkham Origins, but it's not considered part of that trilogy. But anyway, I digress. Because of the popularity of those games, there was a lot of discussion on DC Comics in video games. And as we know, of course, there's a new game based on Task Force X that's about to come out, the one that disrespects Kevin Conroy. I did a video on that. But more importantly, there was supposed to be a game based on the character of Damian Wayne, who was Robin. I think he still is Robin in current day DC Comics. Now, for those of you who don't know, you might remember, hey, isn't Dick Grayson or Tim Drake supposed to be Robin? Well, yes. So Dick Grayson, he's now grown up. He's now known as Nightwing. Then, of course, there's Jason Todd, the second Robin. He was the one famously, slain by the Joker, but he came back as the Red Hood. And then the third Robin is Tim Drake. He's the one that got retconned during DC Rebirth, just so DC could virtue signal, basically. And so now Damian Wayne, who is Bruce Wayne's actual son from Talia al Ghul, he's now Robin. And his character has been met to varying degrees. He's got a whole lot of fans who like the character. I am not among them. I think his character is dumb. Ever since he was introduced, he's been a really terrible Robin. Like, normally, the Robins were supposed to be sort of a mirror image to Batman. So Batman's really dark, brooding, stoic, but they were supposed to be lighthearted and more grounded in people's connections and in emotion. Jason Todd might be a little bit of an exception, but he was still sort of a juxtaposition to Bruce Wayne's demeanor. Now, Damian, on the other hand, he's more violent. He grew up in the cult that Ra's al Ghul raised, so he's more willing to kill. And remember, he's like 10 years old when they first introduced him. They've aged him up recently. And there's like one I remember in the Court of Owls. He has a solo adventure during that, which still takes place during the Court of Owls events. And he's like bossing around grown soldiers. What? It's so dumb. But anyways, he was supposed to have a Batman video game spinoff where Bruce Wayne has died. And now Damian Wayne is taking over the role, similar to the Elseworlds comic Damian, Son of Batman. And according to The Escapist, they have information that the voice actor who is going to voice Damian, Josh Keaton, who we might all recognize as Spider-Man, he was going to voice Damian, but the video game got canceled, and he alleges because of leaks. So getting into it, again, this is from escapistmagazine.com. The Dark Knight's gaming catalog can stack up against another hero's, but it almost got even bigger. The Damian Wayne Batman game may have been canceled because of leaks. In 2016, after the release of Arkham Knight, Warner Brothers Games Montreal went back to the drawing board, canceling an in-development Suicide Squad game in favor of a Batman game that would have seen players play as Damian Wayne, who took over as the Dark Knight. In subsequent years, details about the game leaked, and that may have shut down the Batcave permanently. During a Twitch stream, voice actor Josh Keaton, who was set to play Damian, blamed the leaks for the game's fate. It was a bummer, Keaton said, but they leaked everything, the whole plot line, not only the enemies and the villains and the rogues gallery, but also the concept art for them. They were doing such a different take on so many of the rogues gallery, it gave away everything that was different about the game, so it kind of sucked. Keaton also took time to explain where the game fit into the Batman gaming franchise, saying it was not going to be in the Arkhamverse, totally different thing. That is his explanation. Now, this is not surprising to me. A lot of things have been canceled because of leaks, but it seems like DC is always canceling video games, unless it's one that people don't want, or it's one that captures lightning in a bottle, similar to the Arkham universe. Whatever the case may be, it is hard to determine because, like I said, I'm not a fan of the Damian Wayne character. In fact, I was glad he was left out of Batman Gotham Knights. I thought that game was a lot of fun. I did a review of it, so you can go check that out. My point is, I don't know if I would have been interested in this game. I'm not interested in the new Task Force X game. Forget it, not happening. I have no interest in playing that. Like I said, I explained why in a different video. That being said, I could believe it. I think Josh Keaton would know he is the voice actor. However, a journalist from Bloomberg by the name of Jason Skrier, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, he disputes this. So he shared a screenshot of a lot of news articles that have this headline. And he said, this story is getting a lot of traction, but it's not true. WB's Montreal's Damian Wayne game was not canceled because of leaks. And actually, Josh Keaton, who made the original statement on his Twitch stream, replied, you may very well be correct. I assumed such as everything stopped right after the leak occurred. I really didn't expect it to be much of a story after almost 8 years. Here's just one problem with that. Jason offers no explanation. He just puts this out there with a screenshot, but he doesn't say, I have sources, here's the evidence, here's a statement from WB Montreal. He makes nothing. He offers no evidence. He just says this. So I actually replied to him, and he has not replied yet. No explanation. We just have to take your word for it, even though a voice actor from the game made the claim. A few people were asking if it was because of Batman Gotham Knight, but he disputes that because Gotham Knight would have been way, way further down in the future. Well, because, typical journalist just trying to insert himself, he's like, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm inserting myself into the video game culture. He's written a few books, Press Reset, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. Good for him. And he, like I said, he's a reporter at Bloomberg. They're, this giant, corporate press organization that's, like most of the mainstream media outlets, they're suffering, begging for views, begging for clicks. So I guess this is just part of that. So I actually, though, responded to Josh Keaton, and I said, seeing as how Jason does not offer any counter evidence, I say you were correct and he was wrong. Now, this is developing. He could reply to me. Josh Keaton could reply to me. I don't know what's going to happen here. But whenever a media personality says stuff like this, where they actively dispute someone who was actually part of the process, take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Maybe I'm wrong in agreeing with Josh Keaton. Maybe Josh Keaton was wrong. That's fine. I'll come back on and do a YouTube short or a full-length video if it's needed to discuss this. But again, remember, Jason has offered no evidence of this. He just screenshot a whole bunch of articles, and including the one I just read from Escapist Magazine, and made this claim. It's not true. Why isn't it true, Jason? Tell us. Josh Keaton at least gave reasons for why he believes that the video game was canceled, and evidence, or not evidence, it's his own opinion. I just happen to agree with his opinion for now. And like I said, if Jason comes back and says, here's the receipts, okay, great. But for now, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm going to believe that Josh Keaton was correct, that the game was canceled due to leaks. Hey guys, so editing Jake here, and I just realized that the Bloomberg reporter, Jason Big Shot, he blocked me, and I'd really think that's hilarious because all I did was ask for his evidence, basically said, why should we believe you? And then he goes and blocks me on Twitter. I think that is so hilarious and just shows the state of media that we have here, where you cannot question them. They are part of the fourth estate of government, and if you dare question them or ask for evidence of their scoops, then you get blocked. Wouldn't be surprised if a hit piece was run about me on Bloomberg. Maybe not. I'm a small fish in a really large ocean, but that would be even more hysterical. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about it because I'm not a Damian fan. That being said, the video game could be good. I'm not a fan of Batman content without Batman. That's why I didn't really like the Birds of Prey show. That's why Gotham had to take a couple of seasons to win me over. Gotham Knight is an exception. I actually enjoyed that game. I guess because you play as Batman in the beginning, but still, neither here nor there. I typically prefer Batman to be in Batman content. That's just how I roll, you know. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with Jason? Do you think that, oh no, it was something totally different? It was just canceled because the studio didn't see the viability of it? Or do you think that Josh Keaton is correct? Let me know in the comments below. I do hope at some point we do get another good Batman video game. The Arkham games were hard to beat. The Telltale games were terrible. They got all the lore wrong. They introduced characters that were dumb. They gave a new origin for the Riddler that was stupid with no U. It's Stoopid. Stupid. So I do hope we get a new Batman video game in the future, and one where you just play as Batman and you're solving crimes and beating up the bad guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to Studio Jake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.